Hi, friends. Welcome to this episode. It's going to be a podcast. And also, I'm doing this live in the Discovering Your Calling group today, and it'll eventually be on YouTube. So, welcome, everybody. And this is a message from my heart because this morning I was listening to a podcast as I was getting myself ready, and I'm thinking about a course that I'm going to be running tomorrow on, stepping into 2023 with clarity on your calling. And I was listening to this podcast by Courtney Elmer of the Systems Made Simple podcast. Shout out to Courtney. She's fabulous. You got to follow her if you're a solopreneur, entrepreneur, you own a small business. But she was talking about marketing your business and how, when you're doing that, you want to make sure that you are talking about the client's problems and what are the challenges that they are having versus your solution. And it just got me thinking about my clients and those of you who are in this community now, and those of you who are, thinking about working with me in the future. And I started thinking about what are the real issues? What are the things that are really keeping you from stepping into, and even myself, stepping into your full potential, to really discovering your calling and following through on it. And I came up with 4 things that I think are the top 4. And I would love to hear from you as you listen to this. Let me know, is there more? What am I missing? But there's 4 distinct areas that I hear from the clients I work with, or what I see out there, and even what I've experienced. There are 4 C's. And we're going to do a countdown style here. I don't know if it's a Jay Leno or which night show host that does the countdown. But we're going to start at number 4 and make our way to the number 1 reason why you may not be stepping into your full potential and calling. And I hope that by going over these, you can identify which one or ones that are keeping you stuck, that are keeping you from living the life that God wants you to live and to play full out, to create this extraordinary life that He wants us all to have. All right, so are you ready for this? So number 4 is clarity. Clarity is the big thing that I hear from my clients all the time, and hence why we're doing the clarity, stepping into 2023 with clarity on your calling. People want to know, what am I supposed to be doing? They know they want to do something more, and they know they're called to do something more, but they have absolutely no idea what that thing is, or at least they don't think they know what it is. Usually there's an inkling in the back, but it hasn't been pulled out yet. And then there's also clarity on, what am I even good at? What are my gifts and talents? What can I do? And we address both of those when I work with my clients. So the first one, I just want to say that clarity on what the heck would my business even be? I know I want to start a new business, or I know I want to start something new, but I don't even know what it is. And what I realize is most people look at the world through their own lens. And usually it's this very smaller box of a lens because it's only what you know. And you only see what you've been around. Whereas when you can get in a community of other people, it opens up this whole world of possibilities. One of my clients, she's very great at organizing, and she had no idea that people get paid to help organize businesses and homes. So we've been talking about that. And it just, when we can really dive into that clarity, and you step into seeing all the possibilities out there, because it's crazy what people are doing, crazy stuff. We can get clear on what we're supposed to be doing for our calling. And then for our own natural skills and talents, that's why I love the Clifton Strengths Assessment, because it shows us in black and white very clearly what our natural talents and gifts are. Because most of the time we go through the world, we know our skills, we know our skill set. you fill out the resume, you put your skill set on there, but that's not what gives you clarity on your calling. It's your true natural talents and gifts. Also, we're also very good at saying what we're not good at, right? If I asked you right now, what are the skills that you're not great at? What talents don't you have? You could probably rattle them off, but it takes going deeper to really get clear on your talents, your strengths, and we all have them. I love the quote from Don Clifton that says, we can each do something better than 10,000 other people. So not having that clarity keeps a lot of people stuck because it just seems very overwhelming when we don't know what direction to go in or where to even tap into our own talents and strengths. So that's number 4. The third reason why I see a lot of people not stepping into that extraordinary life is lack of confidence. Confidence keeps them stuck. And they have that fear of, can I really even do this? Like, okay, I have the clarity now, but can I even really do this? And are my gifts good enough? Are my talents good enough? And they don't have that confidence to really just jump into it and say, yes, I can do this. And that's where having a community and a coach, somebody to come alongside you and build up that confidence and show you that, you know what, that thing that you want to do in the future, there's a really good chance that you've already been doing it. I'm going to say that again. That thing that you want to do in the future, there is a really good chance that you have already been doing it. You just haven't been getting paid to do it yet. That's all. Because our natural gifts and talents are with us all through life, and they're showing up in so many different ways. We just don't see it clearly. Again, there's that clarity again. But when we can have somebody come alongside us and help us see that you are able to do this and you do it well and people need you to do it, that builds that confidence up that we can be courageous enough to do this, which leads me to number 2. Number 2 is courage. Because even if you have the confidence to do something, it takes courage to actually follow through. Because starting anything new in life is scary as heck. There's all the thoughts we have, all the fearful thoughts of, what if I fail? What if I fall flat on my face? What if this is a mistake? What if people laugh at me? What if I'm rejected? All of those fears, and they are true fears to have, some of them. Some of them are imaginary, some we don't need to go there, but a lot of them are true fears. And it takes courage to be able to just step into that and do it. But here's the thing that I really want you to think about. If you're just feeling fearful of the what ifs, is I want you to think about, what is your life going to look like a year from now, 5 years from now, 10 years from now, on your deathbed, if you don't try it? How is that going to feel to you? What will you regret if you don't give this a try? And the other piece of this, why we need to have the courage to step into this unknown area of finding our calling. And it is scary as heck, like I already said. I totally get that. But here's one of the things that drives me, and maybe this will help you too, have the courage to step into your calling, is I often think, if I don't do this, who am I really affecting? It's not just my life or my family's life. It's all the people out there that if I don't step into my calling, they may not ever step into their calling. And that drives me. So I want you to think about that. If you don't have the courage to step into your calling, who else that you could have helped, that you could have problem solved for, is not going to have that person there alongside of them. And therefore, they will never step into their own calling. Do you see the ripple effect here We all have a ripple effect. So yes, it takes courage. So it takes clarity. It takes confidence. It takes courage. And there's all the things that could hold us back from deciding that, yes, I need to change something. But here's the number one thing. And this hit me like a brick house this morning. And even when I shared it with my husband, he's like, whoa. It was like, whoa. Because he actually said the opposite thing. And that number one thing that keeps people from stepping into the extraordinary life that God wants for us, and to stepping into knowing and living out our true calling and purpose, is contentment. Contentment is almost, I want to say it, the evil of the extraordinary. Because contentment can keep us lazy. It can keep us stopping. It can keep us thinking, settling. You know, my husband said, when I asked him, I said, what do you think are the things that are keeping people from discovering their calling? And he said, oh, well, they, are the number one problem they have, for people that want to discover the calling. What do you think is the number one problem they have? And he actually said, they probably hate their job. And I actually said, no, that's not it. The number one problem most people have from stepping into their calling is contentment. Because for a lot of us, myself included, and I'll share my story in a second, is our life isn't that bad. It's good life. That's kind of a great life. And we could settle here, and we could be very happy settling where we are. And I'm just now thinking about Moses taking his people through the desert. A lot of them settled. A lot of them stopped, and they stayed where they were because it was better than being, a slave, but it wasn't the promised land. And where you are right now may be good enough, and you may find yourself content. And I know it's easy to fall into that. I've recently fallen into that, especially having a week of family time and just indulging and spending time with my grandkids and having fun. It was very hard to get back to work this week. And I didn't have to. I could have settled. I mean, our bills are paid. My husband's got a great pension. We're very blessed. Bills are paid, extra money in the bank. I don't have to work. And I could settle right here, right now. But I know I wouldn't be satisfied. I know I wouldn't be living up to my potential. And you may have heard me say this before, my driving force is when I die, which I hope is many years from now, I want to show up at heaven, and I really want to hear God say to me, well done, good and faithful servant. You used all your gifts up. I don't want to get to heaven and see all the things I could have had, the life I could have had, the people I could have touched, because I didn't step into my calling. I didn't live into my potential because I settled for good enough. And I really do feel like for most of us, this is the number one thing that keeps us stuck, because it's not a bad life. And even your job, you may not like it, but it's okay. You get paid well. It's not bad. Could be worse, right? Right? But is it your calling? Is it truly giving you the extraordinary life that you want to live? I could have stayed in direct sales. I was at the top of my game. I had arrived to many, there's still further ways to go. But I had checked off a lot of the boxes. I had accomplished a lot of the things. And I easily could have stayed there, but I knew it wasn't where I belonged anymore. And it was so scary because I didn't have clarity when I stepped away. And, I think I had the confidence. It took a lot of courage. And believe me, there are days even now, sometimes I think, I wonder if I would have stayed, what would life look like? But I know it was the right move to make that is leading me towards this direction, because my calling is helping you find your calling. So all those things, especially the courage and the contentment and the confidence you need, is why I feel like community is so important, because we need to be surrounded by like-minded people, other people that are moving on the same journey, people that will hold us accountable, people that will encourage us, people who get us and they understand why we're stepping away from the pretty good life to create the extraordinary life. And that's why I have this Discovering Your Calling Facebook community. It's free. Come join it if you're not in here yet. Some of you are watching in the group right now, but some of you are listening to this podcast or YouTube. Come join us on the Discovering Your Calling Facebook community. It's also why I'm doing a free webinar tomorrow on stepping into 2023 with clarity on your calling. Come join that webinar. Message me for the details if you don't have it already. And it's also why in 2023, I will be launching our first group program of the Discovering Your Calling process. It's a 13-week process that I take clients through, and I've been doing it one-on-one, and it's been fabulous. And for some people, that's what they need. But for others, we need that community, because we need somebody to keep us brave, to build our confidence, and to make sure that we don't settle for that good life. So if you want information on that, reach out to me. I'd be happy to share. The doors are not quite open yet, but there is early enrollment right now. And I'm going to share tomorrow a couple of promos I have on the program, how to save a significant amount of money. So anyway, that's what I have for you today. I would love, love, love to hear from you. Which of these 4 C's, the clarity, the confidence, the courage, the contentment, which one is holding you back from stepping into your calling? And what else did I miss? Is there something else that's holding you back that I didn't even cover today? Let me know. Send me a DM on Facebook. That's where I hang out. So send me a DM there. I really do want to hear from you. So let me know which one resonated and what did I miss? All right. Thanks for now. Thanks for listening to this, whether it's the podcast, the YouTube, or in the community. I appreciate you being here.